Hi, I'm Dino Fabrizio. I'm the president of Risk Transfer. Recently, we launched RiskMD. It's a tool for us to help measure performance of our accounts, but more importantly, it steers them in the right direction on where to seek and place business, whether it be a specific state or a specific class of business. And even if you have a class code that's profitable in one state, we found, based on industry stats as well as our own performance, that specific class code may not perform well in another state. So this information that we pull together through various data sources, to include the PEO's payroll systems, the carrier's claims system, our own policy issuance system, as well as our quoting system, just brings a lot of dynamic views of the data that tells a story unlike any other tabular data that you're going to see through a typical traditional loss run. Well, data is king, and it doesn't matter what industry you talk about. In the PEO space, there's even more complexity. The PEO has multiple class codes that they contend with, and it can be in all 50 states. So it's a very sophisticated beast. And in order for us to manage all that appropriately and provide the right direction, we've got to be the gatekeepers of the data. And we want to make sure that our PEOs can harness that to make the right decisions. I get this question a lot from PEOs. I want to go after the higher rate. That's the safest rate. Every class code has a different rate based on the hazard exposure. So if I'm able to combine that information, starting with what's the most important, and we ask the actuaries what's most important to them, because they're the ones that are making the decisions on the appetite for the carrier. And every actuary tells us the jurisdiction is 50% of the battle, followed by frequency, and then followed by severity. Well, the truth of the matter is there's a lot of rate out there for classes of business that are in our desired class appetite. They're in our sweet spot. And it's a matter of knowing exactly what that is and going after that and providing direction to the PEO's distribution stream. That could be a broker, that could be an internal sales. And I've talked to many PEOs that basically send the salespeople out there with a broad-based appetite without specializing in a specific niche. And that's okay. And it's also okay to be a generalist. But if you're going to be a generalist, you might want to know where to place those bets. It's like a casino. Where are the best odds? Where am I going to have the best results? What RiskMD does is give you the odds of where your best chances are to make the win. One of the things that we pride ourselves with what we've built with RiskMD is visualization of data. PEOs have to have speed to information. Our underwriters have to have speed to information. Now historically, we look at tabular data, we look at mundane loss runs, and we have to try to spreadsheet that to make decisions or paint that right picture. What we love about RiskMD and the gauges that we customized and built is it paints that story. In a matter of seconds, you know exactly where your sore spots are, and you know exactly where your wins are. Yeah, having access to real-time information, real-time data, whether we're talking today or we're talking a week, we're leap years ahead in what traditional workers' comp offers. Actuaries, when they formulate, including the largest bureau, NCCI, when you look at their information, you're typically 2 years in arrears. And that historical information is extremely important for us to understand what the causations were in the past for either a win or loss. However, since we have direct pipeline into our PEO's payroll systems, we get claims information out on a daily basis when traditionally it's every month. We can better understand those catastrophic events that may happen, start developing predictive modeling tools so that we can better predict the future. We learned that hotels are extremely profitable in the state of Texas, and that same class of business, same exposure, same franchises are not performing well in Maryland. And we got to discover the reasons behind that. And what we do discover, when that specific example is, law amendment factors on a per state basis change. They're different. There's different benefit levels. There's different death benefits. There's also different rates in that state. So one of the things that is very valuable with RiskMD is it pulls every state individual specific information to include the return on equity, not just the rate of the business, and gives you that guidance on where that same exact class of business or portfolio, even if it's a niche of restaurants, where you should look towards managing and placing your portfolios. Also, evaluating what you have and focus loss control efforts or risk engineering, or raise the price tag for those that you have in that state that's a non-performing state. So whether it's a barometer for use for proper rate, or if it's a barometer for if I'm taking risk on a large deductible, I might not want to write hotels in the state of Maryland, but I might go all day long in the state of Texas. This is very valuable information that carriers and actuaries pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. We have access to that information and we provide that through our RiskMD visualizations. We're a company of innovation. We happen to have a core discipline in placing insurance in a very difficult, distressed industry. That's what our business plan was founded on, is helping find markets in a distressed industry and helping them procure insurance. But without innovation, we're never going to stay ahead of the pack. We're never going to build something like a RiskMD that's going to change the playing field for workers' compensation as well as other lines of insurance. So definitely, Risk Transfer is a company of innovation.